Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Coup de Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher to discuss Hibernian versus Aston Villa from the Europa League Conference qualifier. Yes, Villa are back in Europe after 13 years of no European competition, and what a way to start a five-star performance, 5 goals, and we'll be bringing you all of that after this. All right, so yes, we were back in Europe, guys and girls. Very exciting times for all us villains, and we couldn't have started in a better fashion. We were we headed north of the border to Edinburgh to play Hibs at Easter Road, and Noah, wow, what a welcome back to the European football. 5-0 hat trick for Ollie Watkins. 3 assists for Luca Digne, no injuries, clean sheet. It was just it was a perfect day. I know Hibs aren't the greatest team out there in Europe, but I still thought this was a bit of a danger game in terms of local rivalry. Two British teams. They're going to make it physical. They're going to make it tough, and I think they did for about 20 minutes. But we just blew them out of the water with our quality.
I mean, it's definitely a danger game, and Hibs are in the competition for a reason, Scott. I mean, they've qualified through their division, the SPL, and they're definitely in the competition for a reason. And
Yeah.
I was honestly so surprised by the strength of the lineup that we actually put out. And I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest, because I thought there'd be heaps of changes, which I think there now will be for the home leg. I think that, yeah, 5-0 up, no disrespect to Hibs, but it would have to be absolutely disastrous for us to lose 6-0 at Villa Park in next week.
No,
I know we got
surely we've got 2 feet in the group stages. Come on.
like,
They,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, I think I don't like to be disrespectful because Hibs are, they're quite a successful club in Scotland. John McGinn's from there, and I think he would have liked being there yesterday. But
definitely.
I think we're very, very close to qualifying for the group stage, which is great. But a bit of history because I remember the last European game we played, Scott, and I was talking to you a little bit before we started recording. Rapid
Yeah.
Vienna at Villa Park,
Hmm.
they beat us 3-2 in that second leg after we drew 1-1 away. How many players do you reckon you can name from the starting 11 that day, Scott?
Oh wow. Oh
Like,
well.
do you remember anything about the game or anything, or do you not?
No, not really. I mean,
It was literally
I
so
do remember us losing to them a couple of times, but
we lost to them back-to-back years. Martin O'Neill
yeah.
walked out the week before. We just lost to Newcastle like 5-0 at St James's Park.
Okay.
Literally very similar to this
So
season.
yeah, it would have been Gabby, Ashley Young, Stuart Downing, maybe John Carew was still there. I'm not sure. Yeah, Milner, or maybe
Yes.
Milner had just left, perhaps.
Milner had just less. So it was Brad Guzan in goal,
Yeah,
Carlos Quella,
yeah.
Davies, Collins, Habit Bay,
Wow.
Nigel Rio-Coker, Stilian Petrov, Stephen Ireland, Ashley Young, Agbon Lahore, and Emil Heskey.
Okay, so I got a couple right, but
You
there
got a
was
couple right.
a couple that I didn't expect, like uh yeah, some of the players in the midfield there and that sort of thing. So yeah, well, but look, that was then, this is now, and we have got a very good team in this competition, and we must be one of the favorites. And we just showed that we put a marker down with an explosive first half performance, 3-0 up at halftime. Ollie Watkins with a great header to start it off, and Luca Digne, well, he just continues where he left off on Sunday against Everton.
I mean, if Luca Digne is rumored to be up for sale, he's doing a very good job of marketing for himself, isn't he? 3 amazing crosses in for 3 headers. And I actually don't remember the last time Villa scored 3 headers in a game, let alone 3 goals in a row, which is,
Yeah.
again, quite crazy. And all of them were put away quite nicely. Leon Bailey looks very good. It's his second goal away from Villa Park in
Wow.
his time here. So I think he scored against Bolton in the League Cup. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how much
That's
credit you
right.
put on that one, but it's his second goal away from Villa Park, and he took it quite well. I
Yep.
actually thought Ollie Watkins' second header was better, just the way he was moving at the ball. I thought it was quite more challenging to put it on target and did quite well. And I'm just
Mm.
absolutely rapt for him that he got a hat trick. Obviously struggled the first 2 games in the league, and now has 3 great goals. Hopefully that's good confidence for Burnley on Saturday.
Absolutely. I like the first header. I think he gets up between two Hibs defenders and just it's unsavable. Like in the bottom corner, just inside the post. Beautiful finish. And I think this is a huge moment for him and for Villa going into the Burnley game on Sunday. We all know that Ollie Watkins is one of these confidence type strikers. Once he gets going and gets a few goals under his belt, he'll score for 5 or 6 games in a row. But if he can also go 5 or 6 games without scoring, if he's feeling down on his luck, so that's brilliant. It was at a weird time for me. It was like 12:45 in the morning, so that's why I look so tired. I had a horrible night's sleep because I slept for a little bit, got up, and then went back to bed. And so I don't like those 5:45 kickoffs in the UK. They can get stuff because that's at a weird time for me. But it was such a good performance and really good to see just the away fans and just playing someone different. Like, you know what I mean? Like playing someone, you see these European games throughout the years with other teams, and you just think, I wonder what it'd be like if Villa were in there, in one of these competitions. So I'm just loving seeing it, and hopefully, we fingers crossed we don't lose 6-0 at home, and we're in the group stage, and then we could get some really interesting teams there.
I mean, it's such an exciting prospect, isn't it? I'm not going to lie. I've looked at teams like West Ham and Leicester and, even like Tottenham, for example. I've just been so jealous of them being in these competitions. Our big away days are to bloody Barrow in the Carabao Cup. That's the ground, we don't normally get to go to. And to go to a place like Hibs or, wherever we're going to end up in the groups, it's so exciting, especially for the fans over there. Like, I know there was just a massive buzz amongst Villa fans this week about going as far as Scotland. Like, I think Owen told me a 50-minute plane ride they had to do last night.
So they flew, did they?
They flew to Scotland 50 minutes on the plane. And, how far do we get in Australia going 50 minutes on the plane? I can't even get to Sydney, let alone, going to a different country. So it's going to be crazy and something we're all looking forward to from afar. I'm very jealous, not over there. But I can't wait to see all the games that we play, hopefully.
Well, that's right. And it was actually very difficult for us in Australia to watch the game. It wasn't on any network. So, I'll leave it up to all you at home to figure out how we watched it. But Stan Sport is supposed to have the rights to the Europa League conference this year, and they weren't showing the games until
Not the
group stage. Yeah. So we had to do a little cheeky stream there. But
I know Coxie bought Hibs TV.
Oh yes, there was
Hibs TV, so he's happy. He's got it for a month. He's subscribed for, so he has the next leg next week as well on Hibs TV. So he's very right with that.
Oh, excellent! And he can watch a few Aussies in the SPL maybe as well.
Exactly.
They had a couple going around. They had Doyle, but they didn't really cause us any troubles at all. I think there was the one shot that Olsen tipped over in the second half, but I was really just happy with the way we coach with the physical threat that they posed in the midfield. There was a lot of sort of head tennis early. There was a lot of sort of long balls and duels and this sort of thing. And I thought Kamara and Louise especially were just so good at not only winning these duels but just being clever and not allowing them to dictate their style. We played our style and we kept the ball. We kept it at a slow pace, when we had it. It wasn't like an end-to-end basketball match. I mean, it might have been for the first 15 minutes, but we sort of, put that fire out, got the goals, and from then on, it was really just like a training drill.
I mean, exactly that. And that's something we saw from Louise and Kamara last season. We haven't quite seen it the first couple of games. I think we mainly saw it a little bit more last week, them kind of controlling the game for us and slowing down the tempo and us allowing to play our brand of football. Which is something we obviously like to do, because I think it was a game at Villa Park, was it Leeds, like 3-3 under Steven Gerrard, where we just adjusted to their game. We went end to end, and that's not what we like to do, and it ended up causing us a bit of trouble where in games where it's quite hectic, players are probably nervous. Most of their first games in a European competition. I'm not sure how many of our team, probably Martinez, Kamara, Diaby, and Bailey, I'd probably
Yep.
say the only ones probably played in Europe. Maybe McGinn, I'm not sure if he did it with Hibs a while ago, but not many of
Mm.
them had played in Europe at all. So it's quite
No.
nervous for some of those players. And to get an early goal, to get an early touch, and to calm down, I think was
Mm.
a massive thing. Because I mean, as you said before, it was a like a banana skin kind of game. Like we could have easily lost that game 3-1, and then had to put out a stronger side the week before we play Liverpool. But the way the boys conduct themselves, and honestly, like we're in possibly the strongest position we could be going into the second leg.
Absolutely. I think I predicted 4-0, so I got quite close, but I think me and Aman said on the previous show that we expected strong teams in this game to just kill the tie, and then, like you said earlier, maybe we can make a few changes and gives guys like Chambers or Philogene a game in the next round. We saw a bit of Bertrand Traore in the second half. He ended a few careers. At one moment, I thought he was going to score one of the best goals of the season when he sat about three people down on their backside and but just couldn't finish. John Duran came on. He looked lively. But I think at that point of the game we weren't really going for the goals. We had the 4 or 5 goals, and it was sort of keep the ball, conserve a bit of energy, and don't get injured. Basically, I think at that point. So, but yeah, so happy with a lot of the stuff I've seen. Diaby again, brilliant. I don't think I've seen him have a bad game for Villa yet, and that's including the preseason friendlies. Ollie Watkins back to form, amazing. I loved all his finishes for the goals. They're all a bit different, and it's great to see him get a hat trick. I think is that his second hat trick for Villa
Take a hat trick for Villa,
after
yeah,
the
after
7-2.
Liverpool,
Yep.
yeah.
And when was the last time we scored 5 goals away from home, Noah? Do you
Oh,
remember?
jeez, that's gonna
No, when
test
the
me.
last time we won by a 5-goal margin or more. Because
Well, it would have been Liverpool. That was the last time I think we would have won by 5
away
goals
from home.
away from home. Do you know the
Yeah.
answer?
Well, I don't know, but I think it might have been 6-0 against Derby when Stilian
Yeah,
Petrov scored that goal from nearly the halfway line.
and that's definitely the most goals I've seen us throw away from home ever.
Mm.
Because I wasn't as big of a Villa fan as when we whacked Derby that day. I was still just getting into it, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. So just the most clinical I think I've seen us be. And what I was most proud of is we never really like gave up or stopped. Like we could have said at 3-0, all right, let's just chill out.
Mm.
And then when that happens, teams can see goals. And I think we didn't really want to risk doing that. So the way we just kept going, like Bertrand Traore, my man, just confidence. Like he's just a confidence player, isn't he? When he comes on the field when we're 4-0 up,
Yeah.
he can do those tricks. If he doesn't when we're 1-0 down, 2-0 down, he gets slated for it because it doesn't
Mm.
pay off. But he looked good. I think just the whole squad's in a great place at the moment. And, we see like our academy players like Aaron Ramsey has been sold. It looks like Cameron Archer's going to go. But
Mm.
I just have full faith in Unai Emery to get replacements in if needed. And I'm
Yeah.
not doubting him at all.
And the positive thing, I guess, about maybe selling the likes of Archer and Ramsey with the buyback clause is that it helps us with FFP massively because
Exactly.
they're homegrown players. They cost us nothing, so that goes all to profit, and that means we might be able to make 1 or 2 more signings in the last week of the transfer window. Yeah, so there was a few other things. I thought it was weird that McGinn got booed. I know that football.
Yeah.
I know that football supporters are like that, and it was probably a minority. But
I found it
I
because
thought he was highly regarded, and people were
yeah.
happy for him to move on. He won the cup with Hibs.
And he's never really spoken bad about it. He's only ever spoken highly about his time there. It's not like he left on sour. And I guess I'll be a bit upset they only got £2.5 million for him at the end of the day because that
Yeah,
was an absolute
wow.
bargain. But yeah, I didn't quite understand that.
Mm,
Maybe they're trying to put him off his game, I guess.
yeah,
But we didn't boo Jack Doyle Hayes or Harry McCurdy, did we? Like they probably,
no,
you
and
know,
we didn't boo Ashley Young on the weekend,
no,
for
no,
example. Like it's
no.
yeah, it's that one seemed a bit weird, but maybe it was just a minority that were making themselves loud. And yeah, I'm fully expecting us to, well, absolutely do them in the second leg too, really, because they're going to have to come out and try and score a goal or two and like give themselves some sort of chance. And yeah, with our pace on the counter attack. You could see that as soon as we started getting goals and getting ahead, we just looked so dangerous because
Yeah.
we've got that pace in the counter attack, and yeah, Emery just sets up the team nice. So to give the likes of Diaby, Bailey, Watkins all the room, and yeah, we can just go at them constantly.
Oh, and that's something I think we got to take into the Premier League as well. I don't think many clubs have faster players than us because Diaby and Bailey as a duo have to be one of the quickest duos in the Prem. And then Ollie
Absolutely
Watkins isn't
rapid.
slow.
No,
Ollie Watkins is pretty quick as well when he gets going. So our front three has to be one of the quickest front threes we've probably ever had. I know like Bonlahor and Young were really quick, but that was just the duo. I don't remember us ever having three rapid players in the one team.
and Zaniolo is quick too, and
I'm gutted
he's
he
yet to
couldn't
come in.
play.
I know, yeah. Well, he wasn't on the bench, was he at all?
So he travelled with the squad.
Yeah,
So I think Unai Emery said he was meant to play,
yeah,
but apparently because he played a Champions League qualifier with Galatasaray, he's
right,
technically cup tied for the qualifiers. He can play when
oh,
we get to the group stages.
right. Well,
It's
that's
a bit of a
good.
weird thing because he travelled with the squad and everything, so you assume he was
Mm.
going to be playing. But the one
But
person I
that,
was hoping would stay fit for this tie or this whole leg was Coutinho. Because
mm,
I think you saw the confidence Traore had. Just Catania would have thrived, I reckon, in this sort of thing. I know he's only out for a couple of weeks, but
is
the
he
group, yeah, I think Emery said 3 weeks, so it
3 weeks?
wasn't as bad as we first thought.
That's good.
But I was just praying because I love Coutinho and I was so happy we signed him, but he just quite hasn't hit the ground running since he signed permanently. And I think Emery can still get the best out of him. I know he's like the wrong side of 30, but he's still amazingly skillful. I don't want him to be sold because I think he could
Mm.
be an important piece come the end of the season.
No, yeah, I'd like to see him. Given a bit another chance. I think he's got something that we don't really have in many of our other players. That real technical dribbling ability and ability to score long range bangers. But there is still rumors of us signing more players. There was Acuna's been talked about for a few
Yeah,
weeks.
apparently that's
And,
like they're put on hold at the moment, Acuna. I've heard that they agreed a fee and now they want more. So
right.
that's been put on hold, I believe so. But that's someone I wish we got over the line, but that kind of depends on Digne because apparently Digne is now happy to stay. But
Okay.
when you have someone on his kind of wages, and we got Moreno, who's our first choice, so we've got to play on more wages as a backup essentially. I think we could sell Digne for a price and then get a backup for less, or if we're going to get Acuna to be our number one left
Hmm.
back. But I think we've got to be smart with FFP, and I think if Digne went, if we got a replacement, I would be okay with it. But if we're going to sell Digne, not get anyone in, there's no point, you know.
There's rumors of that Barcelona kid as well. He's Moroccan. I can't remember his name. Like,
I
I'm
haven't
trying to
seen
look
that
it up
rumor.
now. But
I haven't seen that rumor at all. But I just want to. I trust Emery, and I really do. But
uh,
I don't want us to loan out Digne, for example. I'd rather him stay because
yeah,
he
his
offers
name's
it.
Abde uh, Ezazuli.
That's great pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, but everyone just calls him Abdi, I think.
Yeah, right.
And he's the under 23 captain of Morocco, and I saw some highlights, and he looks tasty, and I know that this season for Barcelona he's gotten a bit of game time, so that's one to keep an eye on. And
There's
yeah,
still
I
a
mean,
week to go in the window.
yeah, so
Plenty of
September
time.
1st, so yeah, hopefully we make one or two more signings to bolster that squad, but yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. This has been a nice quick episode. This is our 100th episode, but we're going to celebrate that after the Burnley game on our 101st episode when we've got Tommy and Aman back. We're going to have a bit of a quiz. So please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions as well, like any personal questions or any questions
Put them
about the
down below.
channel, yep, put them in there and we'll do a bit of a Q&A as well, and we'll have a bit of a extended celebration episode for our 101st episode, but really it's our 100th celebration. So we'll look forward to that on Monday after Burnley. We've already done our Burnley predictions. I predicted 1-1, but after this game,
You can't change it.
I can't change it, but I'm thinking we'll win now. But
Yeah.
just because Ollie's on form and he's banging in the goals. But yeah, we will see you after Burnley. Thanks. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, and we will see you Next week. Catch you
Up
later.
the
Up the
Villa.
Villa.
Woo!